you've got the red light that we are live on Facebook. We are talking about 70.3 Michigan, and we're going to kind of look at your training and what it should look like. About 2 weeks out from race day, September 11th, 2022, right now at the time of this recording, August 24th of 2022. Should have put this out there of, people ask, like, where should I be in my training? What's taper look like? All that kind of fun stuff. I like to answer questions, especially when I'm setting up my athletes, or I'm doing plans for athletes. I always get these questions like, well, what should taper look like? And it's like, well, follow the plan and figure out what taper looks like. But I also put these videos out because I'm basically saying what I'm saying to my athletes and making sure that they're up to speed on where they should be. So this one is going to be key, especially 2 weeks out. You should be out there killing yourself. I'm Ryan, setthepacetriathlon.com if we didn't already establish that. And with that, we're going to head into the video. So 70.3 Michigan, we're about 2-ish weeks out, maybe this 3 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks. But what I did was I've got a plan. I made plans for other races and stuff, and unfortunately I didn't make one for Michigan 70.3 this year. I know it's totally mystifying and horrible and everything, but I'm going to rectify that for next year, so definitely pay attention to those plans. This is a similar course, and this is a 21-week plan to get you to race day. So it's kind of a beginner to intermediate level. So if you're kind of an advanced athlete, it might look a little different. If you're a total beginner athlete, it might look a little different than there. But this is a nice kind of merge in between of where you should be at and what you should be doing. And while we're doing this live on Facebook, if you've got any questions like that, I've got the comment section open. I see a couple of you are going to be out there watching. If you got any questions, put them in there, and I'll hopefully help you out with your training and what you should be doing 2 weeks out from race day. If not, you see this later on a replay, put comments in there, and then I'll get back to you as well. And if you're watching this live and it helps you out, hit the like button. I always like to get that information out there and spread out, and that helps it. Good old algorithm. Anyway, so at this point in time, you should be in kind of not full taper necessarily 2 weeks out, but kind of a race prep taper. So what you're doing in race prep is you're backing off the intensity, you're backing off the volume, you're allowing some of that fitness and everything else to rest and settle in and get some adaptations and some permanent long-term adaptations for race day. But you want the fatigue to go down, you want your fitness to stay the same, and you want your recovery to be going up. So you want to be doing your sports massage, you want to be doing your foam rolling, you want to be doing your stretching, you want to be doing active release massage therapy if you're doing that, your chiropractor, whatever you got going on that helps you recover, sleep, wherever you got nutrition, hydration, doing all these things, especially now you got a little bit of extra free time because you're no longer pulling like 13, 14-hour weeks getting ready for your half. You're pulling in 7, 8 hours, and especially the week of, you're doing like 4 hours worth of workouts. You've got plenty of time. You also should be planning ahead so you're not running around with your head cut off at the last minute because that's going to be important. But as far as training goes, basically, you're looking at tempo level stuff. You don't want to be out there doing threshold work. You don't want to be doing super huge power intervals on the bike. You don't want to be out there doing extremely long bike rides. Notice this one is an hour and a half, 25 miles, the weekend before. 7.5 mile runs, 7.5 miles or something like that. Nothing crazy. You got a little bit of intensity in there, but nothing too crazy. You're going out there, you're just getting a good sweat on, but you don't want to come away with your legs feeling like you taxed them and wore them out or anything like that. And definitely, this is the point in time where we kind of lay off any kind of strength-only workouts. Maybe do a little bit of core work or something like that, but definitely no squats, no bench presses, no lunges, no box jumps, no nothing like that. You want to allow your body to recover and not introduce new microscopic tears and injuries and everything that happens with strength training that you have to recover from. So you don't want to be sore or tired going into a race day like that necessarily. So there's some nice bike tempo work, about an hour's worth of work. Another kind of easy bike for an hour, some swim sets, tempo work. It's all decreasing in volume, so as you're getting close to race day, we're dialing it all back. And then the week of race day, you're really dialing it back. I want a little bit of tempo work in there, so you got some tempo runs, you got a tempo bike here, but once you're getting closer to race day, especially if you're traveling or something like that, I put in a tempo bike. If you're traveling, you put your bike together and you go out and do a tempo ride, make sure that everything's working. Maybe there's an opportunity to do an open water swim. A lot of races are trying to get you out in the open water, so maybe that's the day before, maybe you shuffle around or something. And just a quick 2-mile run before race day to wake the legs up, make sure that the body's not just be like, oh, well, it's time to stop working out altogether. You want to keep the body awake, but you also don't want to introduce too much stress into it that says, oh gosh, you don't want to be out there doing a 6-7 mile run the day before. because that will require probably a little bit more recovery than you really want to do the day before the race, because you want all the rest and all the sleep and all the things you can get before race day that it's not going to wear you out. So this is kind of a snapshot. So you're doing 25 miles, an hour and a half, something like that. Nothing crazy the week before for a bike ride. 7 miles, 8 miles max or something like that for the run for the half Ironman. You know, and this is going to be looking different if you're an advanced athlete, professional athlete, or something like that. You're doing something totally different. Or if you're training for another race altogether, you know, maybe you've got this in a big, huge cycle. You're doing Ironman Wisconsin or something. Well, you wouldn't be doing that because that's the same day. But maybe you're doing maybe Ironman Chattanooga at the end of September. Maybe you're doing Ironman Florida. Maybe you're doing Ironman Arizona. Something like that. Ironman Waco. So this may be in the cycle of the bigger workout. So this may look a little different, but if this is your A race and this is it, this is where you should be at in training. You know, notice it's on the high end, the 9.5 hours here of working out. But, you know, usually no workout is more than an hour. You got a little bit more here for the bike ride. But if you're coming into the weekend and feeling a little bit, you know, a little bit tired or whatever, maybe cut it down to an hour. Make sure you sleep in with that extra half hour or something like that. So maybe that's something that we could do. But so it's kind of a quasi. You're doing taper, but you're also still doing race prep. You still want to keep that fitness. If you went in and just started doing all zone 2 work and shorter workouts before race day, your fitness would severely start to decrease. You'd also almost hit that detraining phase. So we definitely want to avoid detraining as much as possible. We're going to keep that fitness up, but we don't want to go too far and introduce too much stress you have to recover from. So it's a nice little balancing act that we have to do. So with that, quick, short, and sweet video here to talk about what you should be doing leading up to race day. Race prep, nothing crazy. Taper the week before, a severe taper, a total of 4 hours worth of working out or something like that. I didn't see any questions in the comments. Like I said, if you see this later and you have any questions or anything like that, put them in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I get notifications, I'll get back to them. If it helped you out, give it a like on Facebook, give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification button for future videos either on Michigan or other courses and tips for triathlons in general. If my nose would stop itching, it would be great. But, like I said, if you got any other comments, put them in there. I'll get to them later. With that, we're going to close out the video. Happy training. Good luck on race day.